Hello, and welcome to F1 Into the Barrier with me, George Close, reviewing the Austrian Grand Prix. Now, admittedly, belatedly, Marshals, I've had a very busy week and these things can slip, but I have a promise to myself to make sure I always get an episode out before the next race. And yeah, I like them as little time capsules for myself. I appreciate it's not going to be the most watched episode I've ever put out, but thought I'd give my little opinion on it anyway. And I think the main takeaway is an incredible weekend by George Russell, going back to qualifying, where he, even without the controversy, would have taken pole. We saw a resurgent Max Verstappen who looked really quick, but then binned it. And that binning of it caused the controversy. We saw Ferrari manage to probably push their cars to the max. We saw Lewis and Charles very, very close. Charles just pipping Lewis. But George Russell, even with the lift around the final corner, he managed to take pole position by 0.2. And I mean, imagine if he hadn't had the lift. And I know there was all this controversy around he gained more from the recharge. It's bollocks. He set a quick lap. And yes, it should have been a red flag, in my opinion. It should have at least been double yellows. But he drove to the flags that he saw. He didn't do anything wrong. It was weird watching it because it did feel like it was going to be taken away. I think even a lot of the commentators were surprised. And I wasn't super quick on the sideboard yellow flags, if I'm honest. But he knew his flags, and everyone else would have been called a genius if they said that. So I'm going to call George Russell a genius for making sure he put in the lap and maximised it. And he's in a championship battle against his teammate who didn't do that. And these are the small things every season that can add up. He was fantastic on the Sunday. Really, really good drive. Did exactly what he needed to do. Mercedes played it safe. They got their strategy right. And it ended up paying off. Now, Max came through very well. There was a point where it would have been nice for Ferrari to have been a bit faster, but I think even with the Lewis strategy where they pitted during the virtual safety car, in hindsight, may not have been the right decision. I think Lewis might have got ahead of Piastri if he hadn't done that, but they needed to try something, and unfortunately those hard tyres just did not work for them. The softer compounds, by the way, which is interesting because Ferrari run slightly hotter than a lot of the other teams, so when it's the really soft compound tyres, it's interesting to see where they struggle a little bit. And yeah, maybe the nature of the track. Mercedes have brought some upgrades as well. There's this whole upgrade war going on at the moment where every team's accusing each other of going over the cost cap. But I like it. I think they're getting close. Ferrari didn't quite have the engine when they brought the new additional development upgrades. The engine was running hot. They were struggling in Austria. So yeah, we'll see how it goes going forward. Outside of that, the battle of Formula 1.5, which is the new term for the midfield, which I really love. I mean, the Racing Bulls are now firmly the best of the rest. There's still a massive gap to the cars in front, but I like that, Formula 1.5. I think when you just look at the table and you take out the top teams, it becomes a really interesting battle. But Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson in particular, is doing really well. And there's something that was missed in the commentary, which was the team order that was ignored. Lindblad ignored a team order and went to go and pass Liam Lawson. And I think that's not a good look for Lindblad. In the Racing Bull team, I don't think it proved anything. Sometimes as a driver, you've got to know when you're proving something to the team. And I don't think that was the moment. There were maybe slightly different strategies. He risked something. And listen, team orders are rubbish. We all hate team orders. But they exist, and they existed before they were banned. It was just all done in code. So it was hard to prove. Maybe not so as blatant as it is now, but there we go. That's the nature of the beast. So that was a little bit of controversy that got mixed in the race. You might have not seen that. Outside of that, Piastri managed to have a pretty good comeback. The McLarens were a bit disappointing in qualifying, but I thought Piastri came through well. And Antonelli, a bit of damage limitation. It wasn't ultimately enough for him to get second, but he finishes in P3 and he gets still a good handful of points. George Russell leapfrogs Lewis Hamilton in the championship into second place, but we still have Kimi Antonelli out in front, George Russell, then Lewis Hamilton. And I think it's still exciting. I think this has been a pretty good season. We had, yes, the yo-yo Mario Kart craziness at the beginning, but it's leveling out. The drivers seem to be a lot happier with the new rules. Yeah, we're still seeing overtakes. I think it's exciting. I think it's pretty good racing. Anyway, we have the British Grand Prix up next. What's actually happening at the moment. But we don't want any spoils for that, do we? So, on to the next weekend. Marshals, sorry for the tardiness, but I will catch you next time.